Today guys, we're going to talk about this Free Soldier tarp. I ended up buying this through Gearbest. It was on sale at the time, like 42, 43 bucks. I'll put a link. You can get it from Gearbest, you can get it from Amazon. It's available a lot of different places. And I bought this because I was looking for a larger tarp that was something that would be capable of backpacking, but also strong enough for, you know, base camp kind of setup. I was looking for like a nice in between, and this tarp came recommended as a very good budget tarp. And it's 10.5 by 10, you know, kind of round because obviously it's in centimeters and the conversion to inches isn't perfect, so it's right around 10.5 feet by 10. It's around 2.5 pounds, so this is pretty heavy, and you can see it's pretty bulky here. This thing, you know, even when packed up, is pretty darn close to 12 inches long, so it's going to take up some real estate in your backpack, but it is a rather large tarp. Now, to get smaller and lighter, obviously you're going to have to go over to sil nylon, and then you're talking spending some serious money. Now, I did take this guy out for a couple of days on a nice little backpacking trip, and once I'm done talking, we'll cut in the footage of that and how I used it as kind of a big over tarp for my Big Agnes tent. I didn't use the rainfly, I used the tarp, you know, but I wanted the bug netting because the mosquitoes were just terrible. So what you're going to see in the video is quality on this is very decent for the money. The stitching's very good. It's pretty waterproof. I ran the garden hose over it. Seems to hold water fairly well. Really good connection points on it. It's got a lot of different tie down points, plus a few grommets in areas as well. Very versatile. A lot of different setup options. Really a decent tarp for the money. Is it the best on the market? No. But in the end, this does fit quite a bit of needs because, like I said, it is, you know, $40, and it's a rather large. So if you are doing that kind of base camp with a couple of people, having this as like a kitchen tent or just an area for when you have a rainy camp trip, you know, is really kind of nice. And you can use it as a tarp tent. You can use it, there's a million different ways to set it up because it has so many tie down points on this thing. So at this point, you know, there's really not a ton we can say about this without actually looking at it, obviously. So, and I know you guys are probably chomping at the bit to actually see it rather than just listen to me. So we're going to cut in some footage, but wanted to share this thing. Really nice find for the money. Really glad I purchased it. And this is definitely going to be something, it's not going to be something I'm going to bring, you know, on an ultralight trip, but for what we used it for, which is pretty much like 4 guys backpacking, it made a very nice addition to the campsite and provided a little area, you know, when we did have rain where people could throw their packs. And even though my tent was there, it did provide kind of that area where people could change their clothes and do things like that. So a lot of cool things to have, and it really wasn't too bulky in the pack considering that my tent was cut down in half, you know, being I didn't have to bring the rainfly, so my tent was really like 1.5 pounds. So, you know, I added 1.5 pounds to my gear by carrying it. It's just a little bulky, but there's also quite a bit of paracord in here. I did stuff this. One more thing before we cut out is it does come too in this polypropylene bag. It actually came in handy. This ended up being my pillow. Kind of neat because it kind of snaps and it has these handles you can kind of hang from. So if you want to use it as a food bag or something like that. Also very cool. It's something that normally I would throw away, but I ended up using it as a pillow and it works. So I was like, hey, why not? We'll just hang on to that puppy. So here you go, guys. Let's see this guy in action. Here is my setup, guys. Right now, where you can see we're camping at this lake here. And I wanted to do something a little different. So I whipped out this brand new Free Soldier tarp. I was just going to sleep under it, but the bugs are terrible. So I brought just the mesh part of my Big Agnes. You can see there is not much level ground here at all. This is about the best I can get. But yeah, considering what I'm working with here, I kind of have a nice little quick setup. Just using paracord. You know, tied off to a couple trees. Down there I have it tied down. The idea being the wind is coming from this direction here, so if it does rain, I'll be kind of covered on that end, but I have this end open to look out. But yeah, this thing's a nice big tarp. Very easy to make yourself a very good shelter with it. Quality seems to be pretty good. It's held up so far, you know, even under tension. You know, you can see threading's nice. Let's focus. Threading's very nice. Tie-outs are nice. You kind of have that ability to have your ridge line, which runs and then tie out through that. That's kind of cool. So I kind of have the ridge line. This thing isn't as tight as it should be. I'm going to tighten it up before bed, but it definitely sagged a little bit. But yeah, this is a really nice setup. We're not expecting rain, but you know, I had this and I want to try it. And it's a really hot day, so I wanted to make sure I had some nice ventilation because it's going to be like 75 tonight. So wanted as much airflow as I could, so I kind of left it up and open. And if it does rain, it's just going to sprinkle today anyway. So really quick, simple, easy setup for, you know, pretty much, which is very uneven, very, you know, thick brush here.